something Orwellian dropped last week. Every single time I hear about Marvel Comics is the fact that they made a new superhero gay or they race swap something. Like, I never get to hear, oh, here's this exciting storyline that came out, or here's this new character that they designed. Look how cool it is. Like, that's something you hear about mangas, right? But when it comes to American comics, their best foot forward, it's like, oh, they race swapped another character. Oh, Superman's son just happens to be gay. Oh, did you know that Iron Man now died and there's this black chick that's going to replace him? Like, that's it, right? Like, that is like the peak level of American writing. And they're wondering, like, why anime is BTFOing them. But apparently they exhausted even that. It's almost like every single superhero has already either been race swapped or gender swapped. So, like, no one cares. They have nothing else. So what they can do is to figure out ways how to fuck with the customer more, and now that is the news. So, yesterday, it was all over social media, and a couple of websites actually reported that in order to read the last page of Marvel, you gotta scan a QR code. And this is a move that many companies are making to make sure that you don't own anything. Like you need to connect to the internet in some way or another so that they can control and moderate your behavior, or so that you pay them extra money for the privilege, right? But it's okay. It's okay because apparently there are people that are saying, no, hold on a little bit. That's not what's happening, right? Like, what's happening is that, yes, you do have to scan the last page for the QR code, but actually it's not part of the story. It's just bonus content. And I'm thinking, like, all right, if you want to push something that you know for sure people won't like, I mean, most people, they want to buy a comic book and then actually own everything, right? Like, they do not think that 20 years from now, if it's a collector's edition or something, they're going to be able to scan the QR code and still have access to the same shit. I mean, it's possible they will, but, like, no, they actually want to own everything, right? Like, that's why people buy print. They buy print because they want to actually feel the paper in their hand. And they also want the collector's edition capability, right? Like, they actually want to have the thing. So the company knows that the customer isn't in favor for this. So how do they go around it? Oh, well, they start normalizing it, right? Like, the left is very accurate at explaining how sexist jokes or racist jokes lead to real life racism, but they for some reason failed to normalize that, to realize that bad business practices lead to the normalization of said practices. Like, they want to get the customer used to the idea that you can actually scan the QR code and you can get bonus content that is tied to that particular comic book. And this is something that I don't think is in favor for the customer. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever why you cannot include that bonus page into the physical print. Like, if they can make the argument, why is it better to go online and scan it rather than just, like, have it in the comic book, I'll change my mind. But I can't think of anything, any reason whatsoever. And not to mention, they can also do retroactive censorship, like we saw with video games, like we saw with Skullgirls and many other cases where the company just decides, oh, you purchased this product. Okay, well, we're 5 years later now, so we're just going to retroactively change even the concept art. And I don't care what the reason is, right? Like, the very fact that they can do this, and they wouldn't be able to do it if you actually bought the pen and paper, shows why it's actually important for you to own the stuff. So yeah, no, this is not a good idea. I don't understand why anyone would defend it. I do not see how it advantages the customer in any way, shape, or form. Like, if you actually want this, like, why not just have comic books that are online only? Because they actually want people to still buy them for the collective thing, because it's very profitable for them every single time they restart the new comic, which is something that Marvel has done a lot of times. It's like, oh, issue number 1, and it gets canceled at number 5. Okay, well, issue number 1 again, and it gets canceled at number 6. And a lot of dumb people constantly bought issue number 1 thinking that, oh, well, if the series don't get canceled, then 30 years from now, this comic is going to have a lot of value because it's a collector's edition. But even those collectors are realizing now, well, hold on a little bit, they're scamming us. Like, they do not have any intention of keeping the comic all the way until issue number 250. They constantly restart over and over, so these comics will not have that much value 20 or 30 years from now. So Marvel is probably realizing, okay, well, we can't lie to our customers like this anymore. They're starting to catch on. So maybe we can transition to an online model. right? Right now, like why they want you to go online is to harvest your data. Like a lot of companies realized that when you make an account for them, when you connect your social media with them, they get access to certain information that they can sell to advertisers. So they want you to go online in order to moderate your behavior, in order to harvest the personal information from you, and also in order to feed you ads. So like this is how they can monetize, right? It's like, oh, you get a bonus page. And right now it's just to get you used to the idea. It's to normalize this shit. But I guarantee to you, if people are actually going to buy this, and if people actually think that it's okay, you're going to get ads, you're going to get moderation, you're going to get your data harvested, right? Ads, I am 100% sure that will happen. If not now, obviously, they want people to get used to it, but like 5 years from now, definitely 100%. So the good news is that people don't even have to boycott. I don't even think that Marvel has that many readers to begin with. I mean, comparing it with manga and other things that actually try to produce entertainment rather than milking their customers of money. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be an issue. I do think that it's fine, you know, if they have like an online wiki or something where people can go and browse various characters and history. Like, that's perfectly acceptable. But I do not think it's acceptable that you buy a comic and there's a QR code at the end and you scan it and it gives you content that should have been in that comic. Because that's the main point, right? Like, why is the content that should have been there now removed and you gotta have an online account in order to connect to it? So as you can see, it's like the QR code promotion, if we can call it that, started with the July 10 publishing of X-Men #1, which included a specific code that when scanned took the readers to a bonus page on the Marvel website revealing more info about the series' new villains. The issue was written by Jed McKay and drawn by Ryan Stegman, and to the point of inaccurate reporting, the issue itself not only finished the story, it was telling it ended on a big splash page reveal. Yeah, like this is not the issue, right? Like, okay, maybe it was misreported and you still finish the story in the comic, but the bonus page, which is associated with the comic, should have still been in the comic. There is no reason whatsoever why the bonus page is online. They're trying to normalize this. They're trying to make it okay. It's not. And it's good that people gave a backlash. It's good that people spoke out. So do not let these people pour water on the fire. No, more gasoline needs to be on the fire. They need to get the memo that this is not acceptable. Because if it is, then more companies will start doing the same business practice. So let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.